So welcome everyone for the Node.js Foundation Security Working Group meeting. Today's agenda is available on GitHub as issue 124. And if you think something is missing from it, please edit the main or add a comment in the thread, and we will go through that at the end of the agenda. Let's start by going through the issues. So first item in today's agenda is, I believe, issue 114, which is report template proposition. And I think, Liran, you updated the HackerOne template, did you?
Yeah, I did. So it was a good contribution from Rafael, and I just basically piggybacked on some of his stuff just to format it and add some minor stuff. But unless anyone else wants to add something, I guess we can close it.
Okay, so that was a really great issue, and we are lucky to have Rafael helping us on that.
Yep.
And I think we can safely close now. So I'm closing. The next item is 111, evangelism. So regarding that, I briefly met with Michael on Tuesday at IndexConf, and what we agreed on would be to schedule a call sometimes next week to prepare a CFP strategy, and everyone is welcome to join it if you want to participate some CFP regarding the working group answering some CFP. We mainly target Node Interactive and Node Summit right now, but if you've got ideas of other conferences we can target, it would be great.
Who is it that we contacted with?
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, who's the contact point for that? That we like, where can we join the session?
Right now, nothing has been scheduled, and I was planning to discuss that with you and Michael, but he's pretty busy with IndexConf until the end of the week, so probably schedule something today or tomorrow or early next week.
All right, get it. So you'd probably update the issue?
Yes, I will.
Okay, cool. So on that, like, is there? So let's talk about this a little bit. I'm wondering, like, if we want to go and do some local meetups, or like, whether the local meetups or confs or just blog posts. How should we like moderate what we can what we can talk about? Obviously, not about details of vulnerabilities, but I guess the rest of that is like the rest of everything around it is kind of public anyway, right?
Yeah, I feel like, we've been having a lot of path traversal vulnerabilities published, and I think there's definitely content for an overall blog post on the whole issue. Not dealing with writing a blog post for each issues, but sometimes when we see huge patterns like that, we could probably write some good practice and blog post and start evangelizing around that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It can probably, like, I would even want to go further, and I'm not sure if we can do that, but we have the HackerOne dashboard. So like, we can, not specifically modules, but maybe what issues are people we're triaging, I guess, like what's going on, like what are the top 3, 5 or stuff like that. So I think it's kind of related to what you said. Just need maybe to just validate that before we are going to talk about it, because anyway, the pattern, like once we make it public, the patterns are anyway visible, right?
Yeah, my guess would be here that everything that is still private should remain private until disclosure, and everything that is already published can be safely considered as public, except of course for our private discussions in in HackerOne that we, the team-only messages that stay private and should not be disclosed.
Right. Yeah.
But I agree with you. There are a lot of things to do regarding evangelism. And another topic we could see in the evangelism part of the working group will be to invite people to join the working group and the triage teams. I met a couple of folks in Paris who are interested in that, and a guy from Contrast Security, I believe, talked to me about that on Tuesday too. So maybe we should, have an open door policy regarding writing a how to join the working group guide. Maybe I don't know what's the best way, but I think we could use some extra help.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you need help with the minutes, or it should be right?
I think it's okay, just updating it.
Yeah. Regarding the CFPs, for everyone, please don't hesitate to suggest conferences or meetups. We could, for instance, have ready-to-use decks that any of us could use in meetups all around the world, and to have like a coherent evangelization strategy where we stay. Okay. Moving on, if that's all right with everyone. Next one is 103, I think, which is handle HackerOne.org for the core triage team. And that's basically an action on me. And I have to admit, I did not have time to do a lot of that about it. But successfully, and I have to thank Colin about that too, I was integrated in the core security team recently. And I plan to handle that, maybe not in the next 2 weeks, but probably on the next cycle to have this set up from the inside of the team. Next item, if no one has comments, please don't hesitate to interrupt me if I go too quick, too fast. Next one will be 99, a responsible disclosure policy template for third-party module authors. Liran, do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, to be honest, we haven't done, I guess, either a lot of progress on this one. We can start with that with several projects, like just like an early access, just get some feedback, see if we need to like maybe broaden the template or something, and then move forward.
What about discussing with project we disclosed vulnerability about, like a few popular modules like Serve or Lodash? We can maybe ping back the maintainers and discuss that with them. With that,
great idea. I think we can definitely start with those and just pull request it.
Yes. Here are some modules with security. And should we move forward on this badge thing? I really like it. I try to do some experiment, but I'm terrible in design.
Yeah, I think I can try and take that. It's also a good idea.
Thanks.
Probably, yeah. I might just open a different issue or pull request just on that, so we don't have the two issues blocking on each other.
Looks good to me. All right. Next item would be 97, issuing CVs for the ecosystem. So I just commented it. Once again, I discussed that with Michael because he's basically, as far as I know, handling the CV for Node Core. And the strategy we suggest will be to escalate that to the TSC, and then ask the authorities, I don't really know who is responsible for that, for the scope extension for the Node Foundation acting as CNA, and probably having asking for a separated batch of CVE in order to keep a batch of CVE for Node Core and a batch of CVE for Node ecosystem, because they will have a different life cycle and rhythm.
So what does it mean in practice that CVs that we will get from that point on would not be issued through the HackerOne platform?
Yes, the goal will be to stop pinging read every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Someone's
I feel terrible each time I require a CV to you now, because I feel we are really like we are probably when I don't know, but maybe we are.
You are the number one requester. I can just.
So let's make your life bothering you every other day. So yeah, that's my my main point, is being able for us to stop bothering read every other day.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm asking because it's also a bit cumbersome for us. I mean, to ask that, as we need to collect the data and then send it, like, not in a very intuitive way. So I would say, like, I don't know what's the current process for like for Node Core to get a CVs. So get a badge in advance and a batch, that would be like nice, but we would still probably need to somewhere like maintain it. So
as far as I know, and Reed can probably give us more info on that. You ask for a batch of CVE, so you ask for a batch of 10 or 20 or 100 CVEs, and they are reserved for you, and you have to update their documentation when you assign them.
That is correct. So the same information that I'm asking of y'all, especially in that CSV format, is the exact same information that is going to needed for MITRE. So you have to collect all that information anyway, because that's what's actually gets sent back to MITRE for publication.
Got it.
So it would be a lot of emails, I assume.
Yeah, and so like they have a JSON format as well, and like I'm wanting to move towards that. It's just a little bit cumbersome. So they accept both, just kind of like the CSV format or JSON format that you can actually do GET pull requests.
Okay. Okay. So
I'm gonna hop off for a second, but I'll hop back on in a moment.
All right. So maybe I'll just add, Vladimir, like just a comment on this one, that maybe we just need to also understand the process and just clarify it for when we will move to this one, so we have it documented and like well understood.
Yes, we will have to write a process, a documented process regarding how we act as a matter of transparency and quality. But the main point was to enforce the decision of handling CVEs ourselves and for the ecosystem, and now we can start, the whole process in order to reach that goal.
Cool.
Nice. Let's move to the next topic, which would be recommended text and template for third-party module authors.
I think this one is tied to the pull request.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's close this when we merge the Lorentz pull request, and I suggest we merge it now and we iterate with other pull request later.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. I'll be merging the pull request right now and closing the issue at the same time. So it's 93 by I will not close the issue right now, and I will leave you here and decide if we close it or open new ones, and how to follow up on that. All right. Next is early disclosure program, and I feel like it's issue 68. And I feel like there are there are people who would like that, and at the same time, I won't have time to champion that right now, and I think until we get a champion to handle that properly, we can't move forward, and there is no high priority on that. So if we say we just keep it open until someone has time and can spend time on that, that's good for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we probably need to have someone to champion this, since there's a lot of going forth around collecting information and being in contact with the with the people interested in a disclosure program, like the different companies, whether it's the Google Cloud or IBM or whatever. So it probably needs some more dedicated attention than an issue we can discuss and close in a meeting.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's consider that as in sleeping until we've got someone who really has time and energy to handle that. Next would be 54, which is implement process for management of third-party vulnerabilities. And I feel like what we miss most is a script to automatize HackerOne disclosure to the repository, right?
Yeah, right. It's kind of, I think, related to that machine readable vulnerability issue that we discussed recently.
Yes, and we didn't put that in the agenda. I will flag it myself.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not really sure how we want to fully automate it, because even today when we add new modules and triage them, the version information we can't add it on the HackerOne platform itself. Like, it's part of the description. So even if you would script it to get it from HackerOne through their API, we would still need to add some data manually. So I don't know, maybe
what you could do is have a structured format. So the reports take a thing called a team summary that you can do at the top. As a hack, you could have a structured format where you put data into that team summary, and then that gets read by whatever script and used.
Yeah, that's I guess that's kind of the way we'd have to handle it, and maybe the fact that we are using the structured format, like we just talked about at first, the first issue, would kind of help. But we've seen some reports going on with people not really doing that format. So
well, this is separate. So I mean, the team summary. So this is something that y'all can add yourself. So it's separate than the description. So think of it as a so you can add a summary, and then so you can put whatever format you want in there.
Yeah, that could work. I guess it would be up to us. So I was wondering if we wouldn't use source code as the type and something else if at that point we would get versioning, as part of the structure of the report. Would that work or not?
I think so. I don't see why it wouldn't work, actually.
Well, using putting the data, the information, the versioning and stuff like that in a format on the description, on the summary.
Yes. We should have we should add the summary ourselves from the triage team point, as Reed suggested. Yes, that should work.
Right.
Let's try.
I was just wondering if we try, if we use a different type of report. Right now we're using source code, and I don't remember what we have there by heart. But if we use a different one, wouldn't we have structured fields for versioning?
Oh, I don't know if that includes versioning or not. I'm not super familiar with that. You're welcome to play around, and you can always spin up a test team and play around and see what all the scopes you can use.
All right, I'll take a look. So I'll probably take a look at that before we do something with the scripting, because like we can update manually the versioning, but like the summary, but that's still error prone, and like we might forget about it from time to time. So I'm just looking for some structured way that we would just update all the fields. So I'll get into it, and we're taking that.
Awesome. So let's move forward. Next item is bug bounty program, and I think Max Center is not here today, so if anyone has anyone to discuss on that on issue 49, please do. But our champion is not here today, so maybe we have to wait till next meeting to move forward on that. Right.
Sorry, I'm still on summarizing the other items. So what did we say on the bug bounty one? Is there any user?
Yes, let's. If you have anything to discuss on that today, let's do it. But I think our champion is not here regarding that, and we will
so,
just.
My comment on that, just speaking with my internet bug bounty hat on, is again that I don't think y'all need to figure out everything formal to just join, be part of the IBB. I mean, it's basically all we ask of y'all is like, are you okay joining? And are you okay with a possible increase in vulnerability submissions to you? And if it's basically those two things, because you already have an existing, vulnerability process in place, then it's good to go from our side, and we can start handling out just running a program and paying out bounties that way via the IBB. Now, if y'all want to start paying out things for top modules and stuff, then that's stuff that you'll need to figure out separately.
Yeah, I'm not really keen about paying rewards for ecosystem modules right away. I think we've got a lot of work to do before reaching that point. Regarding Node Core, I think we should escalate to the TSC at the end of the day. What do you think, Colin, about that? Do you think that the TSC is more?
I think it'd be a good idea to run it past the TSC. I don't think we should opt the project into any third-party programs without doing that first.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I think too. So if that works for everyone, let's decide to escalate that and to try to have that on TSC agenda. All right. So, all right. So I added a last item to the to today's agenda, which is sorry about that.
Yeah, it's the machine readable one.
Yes, exactly, which is issue 115. And so
have we lost Vladimir?
Sorry, I had a Chrome browser epic fail. So what I believe regarding machine readable format is that bundling an archive, either in a tarball, either in a npm module, would be a straightforward way to distribute the content of the repository. And at the same time, it could be a great first contribution for a newcomer.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'll start to advertise it as a good first contribution, help wanted issue, if that's all right with everyone.
What name would this be if we publish it on NPM?
Say that again. I had trouble hearing you. Sorry.
Right. So presumably we would publish this on NPM, this
Yes.
package module. So what would we name it? Security-WG might not make the most sense. I don't know.
Yes, you're right. We need to find a name. Also, we need to know who has the right regarding the Node.js user and NPM to have it publishing, I think. Regarding naming, if you have good ideas, yes, I like the one you suggested. Maybe. Yes. Also, shouldn't we like contact NPM teams and see how they would like to integrate that with the repository?
Which NPM teams?
Sorry?
Like which NPM teams?
Like the npmjs.org teams.
The official one?
Yes.
I don't know. You think there's an interest there from them to kind of treat it in a different way?
Oh, I was thinking about having vulnerabilities as metadatas in the repository. I don't know. We discussed that a bit last year at Node Interactive, but I don't think anyone followed up on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm guessing like we can bring it up with them. That would be an interesting contact point. And by the way, maybe we can do the same. Like I'm connecting that now to the security text and security badge, where we can also like maybe get them to display it on the website itself, even though it's probably on the Markdown is going to be presented as well, but still. So maybe it's a good idea to contact them and see what they think. But I am guessing that they would want to probably use like a variety of sources for the vulnerabilities and probably not just count on us.
Right. So let's just try, to contact them and to see if that's something they're interested in and iterate on that. Maybe that's the starting point. Okay. All right. So I think we went through the whole agenda. So is there any topic you want to discuss? And is there any question from people watching that on YouTube? Either add a question in the issue 124 or in the YouTube chat. We are monitoring both of them. And we will leave you like 2 or 3 minutes to add a question. Seems we got at least 2 viewers who are not Brian or I today, which is probably our record. Seems So, when is next meeting? Let me check that.
It seems to be on the 22nd of March.
22nd. Yes, I got it. So if there is no other topic or question to be brought to the attention of the working group, I think we can safely finish today's meeting. I will PR minutes shortly on the repository. And oh yes, so Raphael suggests we should do more advertisement regarding the working group. And that's things we have in the pipes regarding evangelism. But Rafael, as I already told you, I would love you to join us. I know you are listening to me on YouTube right now. So let's close the meeting for today. Thanks a lot, Guy, for joining, and see you all on the 21st of March.
Sounds good.